Hello again, I am Jim Bob, and welcome back to F1 Manager 23 on the PS5. It's time for Zandvoort. We're heading to the sunny sort of beaches of Zandvoort for the Netherlands Grand Prix. Well, that was a very clunky intro, wasn't it? Still suffering from the disaster of last night. After a great sprint, we had the worst result ever as boss of Mercedes in the main race. It was not good. It was really not good at all. Lewis had a massive shunt and into the wall and damn near totaled his car. George made a series of mistakes and managed to just about scrape through to get a point. It was not a good race. It was, as I say, that's the worst result we've had as boss of Mercedes in 1.5 seasons. So, yeah, hopefully we can do better tonight. We have got new parts going on the car for the Grand Prix. Hopefully they will give us the extra downforce that we seem to be needing at the moment. Because, you know, we're under threat from Aston Martin, from Ferrari, and from Red Bull at the moment. Right, let's skip on. We've got 12 days until the Grand Prix. And our chassis spare is done. So let's go ahead and equip those onto the car. There we go. Front wings not quite ready yet. Got 2 rear wings. Let's go ahead and whack those on. Side pods are all sorted. Underfloors are sorted. Suspensions are sorted. Good stuff. More manufacturing getting done. Got a gearbox in poor condition. No surprise there. I signed Valtteri and Alonso for AlphaTauri. Yes, I did. Yes. I'm just done Miami. And team's doing well. Right, rear wing manufacturing is complete. So, we've now got 2 spare rear wings. The front wings should be just about done as well. We've got enough to go and slap those on the car. There we go. That's the preview for the Dutch Grand Prix. 225 points clear of the Constructors. George top of the Drivers' Championship over Lewis by 18 points. And we're ready for race prep. So let's do a quick inspection of the cars. So, checking the warehouse. We've got 1 spare chassis, only 1 spare front wing. Bit of a shame. 1 spare side pod, 2 spare rear wings, 1 spare underfloor, 1 spare suspension. So, as long as we don't have another race like the last time, we will, we'll be okay. If we have another race like Spa, where we're just hitting anything and everything, then we're going to be in real trouble. Let's have a look at how those parts have impacted our car. Not as well as I was hoping. We're still not quite where we were in terms of downforce, although it has improved the low speed a little bit. Speed is there, DRS is there, acceleration is still 9th. Brake cooling and engine cooling, 9th. 30 air tolerance, 3rd. We've clawed a little bit of that back. Let's see how a Ferrari looking. Looking pretty quick. Very strong in the low speed, not so good in the medium speed. They've dipped a little in the high speed. But how much of a dip? About 0.05 in terms of G-force. And in terms of speed, 0.2 kilometers an hour. Okay, let's take a look at Red Bull. So Red Bull looking very quick here. 3rd in speed and DRS, 1st in acceleration, 7th, 5th and 3rd in cornering, 5th in dirty air. Yeah, Red Bull are going to be a threat here. If they've got good engines, they will definitely be a threat. Let's take a look at Aston. Aston slipping a little bit, but their medium and high-speed downforce is excellent. Their low speed's pretty good as well. Their dirty air tolerance not so good though. That could hurt them at this track. We shall see. Brakes still best on the grid. And that speed deficit is not insignificant. It's nearly a kilometre an hour. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be Ferrari and Red Bull. Probably Red Bull the biggest challenges, with Ferrari not far behind. We shall see how we're doing. Say hello to the chat. We've got Zane, we've got Ardub, we've got Anthony in the chat. Hello to everyone else who hasn't said anything yet as well. Right, let's set our objectives for tonight's Grand Prix. The incentive is to get one car in Q2. That should be straightforward. We're going to go for 2 in the top 5. We're going to be slightly more conservative given what happened in qualifying yesterday, where we didn't get into the top 6 with both cars. And both cars into Q3. There we go. Right, finish position 2 in the top 4. That's the incentive. We will try and get the fastest lap, which we didn't get in in Spa either. New finish position streak, 2 in the top 6 for 2 races, and let's set a new quali streak, and we're going to be a little bit more conservative on this. We're going to say 2 in the top 6 for the next 5 races. That should be a little bit more achievable. Are you speaking Japanese to me there, Sarada, or are you quoting Jabba the Hutt? I'm not quite sure. Right, incentives are done. Let's head to the Dutch Grand Prix.
Hello, and a very warm welcome as we prepare for the Dutch Grand Prix. We're back from the summer break with topped-up tans. Vacation, though, is now over, and it's time to get serious on the track for the second half of the F1 season. To carry speed through the steep banking of Zandvoort, teams will need to be loading downforce onto their cars this weekend. Zandvoort has the second shortest lap time of the whole F1 season, and the track tolerates no mistakes.
In the Constructors' title battle, it's Mercedes who are currently leading. And at round 14, we're well into the season and the points allocation.
Stay right here, because we're just getting started.
Ooh, we've got a very, very wet race. I didn't even think about checking the weather. Okay, light rain in practice on Friday. That could be practice 1, practice 2, or both. Dry for practice 3 and quali, and then a very wet Sunday race. Interesting. Let's see. It's Lewis's turn to sit out, I believe, for Teo. Let's take a look at car parts. We are going to need to take penalties tonight. We're going to need to take a new gearbox for Lewis, I think. As you can see, we've already bought that, so we'll be installing that later. Let's go with the worst gearbox we can so far, which is the 25%. We've now basically got 2 race gearboxes left for the rest of the season. Hopefully it will only be a 5-place penalty, because we've already taken a gearbox penalty with Lewis. ERS unit, we're going to go with the 33%, that's fine. Even though we're down to 59% on that ERS unit, we've still got this one here. We should be okay on ERS units, as long as we keep it out the wall or other cars for the rest of the season. And engines, engines not looking quite so good. We've got 3 engines, one of which is about to tick over into the damaged section. And then we have 2 that are at 80-odd%, which isn't great at this stage of the season, because that means they'll both be rubbish by the time we get to the end of the season. Let's have a look at setups for Zandvoort. So, we're going to go with 10, 13.5, 4.6. Sorry, 6.4. Got that the wrong way around. 3.1 and a 0.65 for Lewis's car. And now let's work on George's car. Oh, actually, before I forget, let's swap the tyres. There we go. And the run plan is normally 21 laps. It is going to be wet, so that might break this up, but we'll go 28 laps for Teo in case we get the setup right first time. We're going to stick with... Actually, we're going to save the hard tyres for George as well for Saturday when it's dry, just in case we need to do some extended running. Setup for George's car, we're going to go 9 on this one. So we'll start off with the 21 laps of fuel, drop the pace. There we go. Right, setup 9 and 13. This one will go 4.6, 3.5 and a 1 on the toe. There we go. And let's do the parts for George's car as well. Well, the 3% engine probably won't go through this session, so we'll go with the 73%. ERS, we'll go with the 13%, that will last. And gearbox, we'll go with the 24%. There we go. Right. Did I do the driver options? Yes, I did. Right, let's send them to the track. Caught up with last 2 races, Hamilton closing with 2 straight wins. You obviously haven't caught up with last night's race then, because neither of our drivers won the race last night. Lewis didn't even finish the race last night. He won the sprint. No, George won the sprint. Lewis came 3rd in the sprint.
Radio check. Yeah, radio's loud.
Last night was a complete disaster. Yeah, sprint aside. Right, let's have a look at the weather. Is it going to rain in this session? It is, and we'll probably be okay on slicks until about 15, maybe 20 minutes. So we might actually get feedback in before we have the box, which would be nice. There is the wet weather warning.
Do we need it?
We've got a little bit of F1 news. It's still not officially confirmed, but it does look as though AlphaTauri, as I said earlier in the week, are going to be keeping Tsunoda and Ricciardo for next season. And Oscar Piastri has signed a contract extension. He will now be at Mercedes till the end of 2026. So a move that makes sense for both McLaren. A move that makes sense for both parties, for both Piastri and McLaren there. They've got a young, promising, up-and-coming driver, and he's with a team that is on an upward trajectory. Lando going to Red Bull. I don't think he will.
Balance check.
Not unless Max leaves. I don't think any big name is going to go up against Max, because the team is built around Max and revolves and functions around Max. So to go there, you're just immediately putting yourself on the back foot, as everyone who's been there with Max has found out. Ricciardo found that out. Gasly found that out. Albon found that out. Jacko's finding that out. Kvyat found that out. Right, we have got feedback before it's too bad, so we can call our drivers in. now that the rain is just above 1. Let's see, what changes do we need to make to George? We need to increase the rear wing, so we'll push that to a 13.5. Let's have a look at the 13.5s that I've got. I've got a 9.5, 13.5. Oh, that's a... okay, we're going to have to wing this one because I don't have any setup that is close. Unless I've got something in last year's book. Let me have a look at last year's book. See what we've got in there that we can maybe try and cobble together. I've got a 5.5. Let's give that a try. So, refresh the browser because that's killed the chat. There we go. A 10, 13.5, a 5.5. And then that becomes a 3.3. And stays at 1. What does that do? That keeps the front wing optimal. It's a little out, but it's not too far off. The other option I've got is a 9.5 and a 3.4. And that's a little better. If I make it a 3.35, actually, if I just go to a 10 and make that a 3.3 and then just pull that in a touch, let's see how that does. That's close enough. Right, let's have a look at Teo. Right, so we're off on this one. So this could be a 7.3, it could even stretch to possibly an 8.2, or it could go to a 5.5. We'll try the 7.3. I do have a 7.3 in last year's book. That was a 9.5, 13.5, 7.3, a 3.05, and a 0.50. Let's have a look at that. That's not far off. I am going to up the front wing though to a 10. And I'm going to go with that and see how that works. Right, let's change the tyres. Let's go with a set of... Oh, do I really want to... Yeah, I think we kind of need to put inters on, don't we? Yeah, it's going to be wet for the rest of the session. We'll have to do that for George as well because we forgot to put inters on him. You honestly think Lando beats Max? No. I mean, as good as Lando is, he's not at Max's level. I think the only driver who's even close to Max's level is Lewis, and I don't even think Lewis is at Max's level right now. Not just in terms of raw pace, but also in terms of consistency. He is so consistent right now. Alonso is supremely talented as well, but again, he's just not as consistent as Max is right now. How many mistakes have we seen Alonso make this season? A few. How many mistakes have we seen Max make? Not many at all. Less than Alonso. Max is just on another level at the moment. Only because Max isn't pushing. Well, he is. It doesn't look like he's pushing, but he's pushing. Not maybe as hard as drivers like Alonso and Hamilton are having to push because their machinery is inferior, but the way that car behaves, he's pushing. He's just supremely confident in his ability to control it. He wouldn't be beating Checo so comprehensively if he wasn't pushing. yellow flag out there for someone.
Give us a balance
Feedback
check.
for Teo, and 97, that's good. That's very good. We'll call the car in. And what is the tweak that we need? It is the cornering. I thought that might be the bit that needs to change. So we will drop that to a 2.95. We'll just recorrect the toe like that and see if that works. And we'll try that with Lewis in session 2. Feedback for George. 97 for George as well. We'll keep him on track.
Are you happy with temps?
There we go. That is the end of our running in practice 1. You think Albon and Gasly are better than Perez? I don't. Not at Red Bull, anyway. I mean, Gasly, floundered at Red Bull. Albon did a little bit better, but neither of them came close to winning a race with Red Bull. Perez has won multiple races with Red Bull. Alright. Again, it is the camber that needs to change. Which way do I push it this time? Let's go 3.25. See if that works. And again, we'll just correct. Actually, no, I'm going to go 3.35 and correct that up to 1, like that. See how that works. We want to go with... How many more laps do we want to go? Let's go with 30 laps of fuel. Starting on hards, but we might have rain again. So we're going to go on to mediums for this session. Right, as for Lewis, again, we're going to go mediums because of the threat of rain. But Lewis, we are going to put a lot more fuel in the car. We're going to put 44 laps of fuel in Lewis's car. And we've already made changes to his setup. Let's send him out to practice 2. See if we're going to rain again. A little bit. Neither got long enough. Well, yes, you can argue that, but also, I mean, like I said, the way the car is naturally set up, the way it's been developed, is perfect for Max, and only Max. He has a driving style that is reminiscent of Schumacher's, but it's a little more measured because of the way the cars work these days. But yeah, it's a driving style that is very different from a lot of others. It's very hard to manage because it has intrinsically a very pointy front end, which means it's very loose in the rear. It has a real tendency to oversteer and snap. The rear has this lack of grip or lack of stability at the back, which makes it very quick, but
Rain
also
is
unstable.
imminent.
And it's something that Max is intrinsically able to have amazing car control and feel. And it's a style that's incredibly difficult, and not many drivers can do it. And yeah, it doesn't suit anyone who's partnered up with him. Most drivers prefer a more
Give us a
stable
balance
rear
check
end.
when you can. Balance check.
Right, 99%. We're one click of toe away from perfecting Lewis's setup. That is good stuff. Let's see how things go, George. Did we go the right way there? Yes, we did, and we nailed that one. Perfect. Now it is getting wet enough for us to consider coming in. It's going to stay around this mark. I mean, I suppose I could risk staying out there, but it's not a risk I'm prepared to take, because it just increases the chance that there might be an incident. And, you know, we can't afford to write off more parts. We really can't. So we will put them on inters. I can make that little correction there for Lewis, but we'll do that afterwards. We won't do it now, we'll do it after the session. We will put him on the used inters. And we'll drop the fuel down because he doesn't need to carry 40 odd laps of fuel anymore. How long's it got left? Yeah, 20 laps will be more than he needs. And there is George nailed. Let's quickly check, is this in the book? 10, 13, 5, 5, 5. No, it's not, because we don't have a 5, 5 in the book. So 10, 13, 5, 5, 5, 3.35, and a 1. There we go. Right, and tyres. Again, we'll go with the used inters. Oops. And send them out. There we go. Personally believe Zhou and Tsunoda will be out of a seat come the end of this season. Zhou has already been re-signed for next year, and Yuki, as I say, is looking likely to be re-signed alongside Ricciardo for AlphaTauri for next season, although that isn't confirmed yet. It's a shame for Lawson. I think Lawson deserves a chance on the grid. A lot of rumours are speculating that, you know, he might get shopped around to Williams to replace Sargent, whose seat has yet to be confirmed. But Williams have essentially said that it's his seat to lose at the moment. So I think they're just waiting to see how he does in the remainder of the season, or at least the next few races at least. He has shown signs of improvement. He's been getting to grips to the car a bit more, and we'll see if he does enough to warrant a second season. It's not quite there yet, but there's too much of a tendency, I think, to just immediately cut the driver after just one season. And you really don't get the chance to see what they are truly capable of. Joe's awful. Well, the car is awful. You know, there's only so much you can do with, you know, a car that is a giant piece of crap. And that is the unfortunate reality of Alfa Romeo at the moment. It'll be interesting to see how they do next season when they revert back to Sauber. And Audi start to take a more active role in the team. They will be buying a 25% stake at the end of this season, I believe. Ricciardo is overrated. Maybe. I mean, he was great at Red Bull. Made a surprising move to Renault, but was good at Renault. And then went to McLaren, and it just didn't work. Doesn't mean he's a crap driver. You know, again, with respect to his run at AlphaTauri, he's only had a couple of races before he broke his hands, and the car isn't great. It's not amazing, so Red Bull are obviously confident in his ability. You know, they've already seen signs of the old Ricciardo coming back, to the point where they wouldn't have put him in the car, you know, if they didn't think he was ready. You know, and I do think that they are looking at him as a possibility of replacing Perez when Perez's contract runs up. But we'll have to see. It's in the future. It's yet to be determined. Evening, Andy. How are you doing?
Checkered flag is out.
Your tyre temps.
I actually left George out there way longer than I intended. Never mind. Got some good running in for Lewis. Got him up to 47% track knowledge, which isn't bad considering he had a stop in the middle there. Right, we're into dry running for today. So let's go ahead and make that little tweak that we need, which is that. There we go. So for fuel, 15 laps should be more than enough for George. Drop his pace down, and that's him done. Lewis, we need to run long. He needs to run for about 38 laps, I think. There we go. Right, let's send them out for some dry running. How did Max not get a penalty last weekend? I don't know. I really don't, you know. I think he should have had at least one penalty. I mean, he did get points on his license, but he's going to have to rack up a lot of points in the next 12 months before he receives a ban. Oh, we didn't actually get George all the way up. Okay, we'll send him back out. I wasn't paying attention to that. Let's send him out now.
Let's see if you can give us a balance check.
And there is the 100 for Lewis.
Stand by, we're looking at it.
Right, there we go. George, 100% track knowledge. We're going to keep him out just a little bit longer because he will help boost the car part knowledge slightly. Actually, no, Lewis is going to be out there for a while. Let's just call Russell in now. There we go. Do I believe the FIA do not favour Lewis, or is it a racist thing? I'd like to say the answer to both is no. I can't really point to either of those being true because, you know, we're from the outside looking in and we don't see what goes on behind closed doors. So I don't think so for either. But there is definitely a lack of diversity in Formula One. Lewis is the first and only black driver in Formula One. We have had some other minorities making their way through in recent seasons, you know, making their debuts kind of thing. You know, we've had some landmarks with some nationalities being achieved, but yeah, he is still the only black driver in Formula One. There is no black team owner. There are very few black people in upper management in teams. I don't know if it's inherently racist now. It's better than it was. I know part of Lewis's Project 44 is to try and raise awareness and create opportunities for increased diversity. Racism may well have been a thing back in the earlier days of Formula One. I don't think it's there now. We'll have to see if things continue to improve. But in terms of favouring a driver over another, there's a history of that, you know. I forget the name of the guy who was in charge of Formula One in '89, but he was very much, you know, anti-Senna, pro-Prost, and he disqualified Prost. He disqualified Senna in the '89 race at Suzuka for getting restarted after their collision at the Cassia Triangle. So, he really didn't like Senna, and he was very much pro-Prost, and he backed Prost and basically gave Prost the World Championship in '89, which was a huge controversy. And then, obviously, Senna took Prost out on the first corner deliberately the following season to make sure that he was World Champion. There's always going to be moments where drivers just have periods where they seem to just do no right and other periods where they do no wrong. Lewis has had periods where he's escaped what you would think would be obvious penalties. He's also had periods where he's perhaps been unfairly penalised. You know, other drivers get that. I think Max has maybe had a slightly easier ride than some other drivers have had in terms of penalties over the years, but doesn't mean he'll always be like that.
Welcome to qualifying. Let's find out if all that practice will pay off for the drivers.
Good overtaking spots at Zandvoort are few and far between, so there's a lot of pressure to get qualifying just right. Drivers will be hoping for good downforce.
Right, quali. It's a dry quali for a wet race. Makes things interesting. Let's see if we can get ourselves firmly up the grid. Did I go with a 93 engine? It's As I've really got to, haven't I? We'll go with the 62% ERS. That's going to be fine for another 20 odd percent. We'll go with the 55 gearbox. That should be fine. That's got till 40 before it starts to degrade. We're going to go with just the 1 lap. That'll be enough to get us through. We're going to go with the 81% engine for Lewis. We'll go with the... Oh, no, wait, we're taking penalties here, aren't we? We want to take the penalties before Monza. Okay, so that means... new gearbox. And for George... the new ERS. There we go. How strong is my car in a wet race? I guess we'll find out. But I'm not taking these penalties at Monza. Absolutely not. Right, let's send that George first. And now send out Lewis.
Wake up those rear brakes.
Copy.
Let's just focus on the outlap.
Yep.
Do I think that F1 should come away from the FIA? Well, they kind of are. I mean, FIA is the governing body of all motorsport. F1 in itself, though, is its own independent company. I think it would be bad for Formula One if they cut ties completely with the FIA. But
All clear ahead. Good to go.
we'll see what happens, I suppose. All right, here comes George starting his flying lap. We've got clear track in front of him, and Lewis has clear track as well. No one coming out the pits in the way. That's good. Let's see how quick our cars are with the new wings. Okay, that Aston is faster than us, or faster than George anyway, but Lewis is faster than the Aston. Which one is it? I'm not sure. It could be Alonso, it could be Stroll. Let's have a quick look. It's Alonso. So Alonso was faster than Russell in Sector 1. Is he going to do the same in Sector 2? He is. What about Lewis? Lewis is slower than Alonso in Sector 2 as well. Right, up to the line. Russell goes 110.0. Alonso should be faster.
We just get that delta negative.
He is a 109.8. What about Lewis?
Box end of this lap.
109.7.
Get the delta negative.
Okay, that's enough to get us through.
Box.
So we don't need to go again.
Understood.
While we're waiting for qualifying to finish, don't forget there is a poll on my community tab on the YouTube channel right now. You get to vote which team we run in tomorrow's race replay at Singapore. We are going to be doing the Singapore Sting scenario afterwards as well, and so that is already locked in as Mercedes. So you've got 5 teams to choose from. You've got Ferrari, Aston Martin, Alpine, McLaren and Red Bull. Ferrari were in the lead in that vote last time I looked, which was about an hour ago. With Red Bull, I think, in second. So if you haven't already cast a vote for that, go cast it now. Or, make sure you cast it at some point before tomorrow. Because I will be looking at about 9 o'clock, and that will then be the one that we choose. So you've got 23 hours-ish to cast your vote before that poll is finalised. How do you vote? Just go to the community tab on my YouTube channel and just select which one you want to see me race as. Just casting your vote in the comments here tonight isn't going to work because I will forget and I won't remember to go through the comments to add those in. So yeah, just clicking on the poll on the community tab of my YouTube channel is the best way to do that. Alright, we're getting down to nut cutting time in Q1. Who is at risk? No big names are at risk, although McLaren have really dropped backwards at the moment. Have they had clean runs? That is the question. Let's see what Norris can do. Norris improved. Where's he gone? 10th. Oh, Piastri gets into 15th, so Gasly is now at risk. Okay. He's on an outlap. So, the only drivers we can really look at now are Gasly and Schumacher. They are the two that are at risk. So, let's have a look. Where is Schumacher? There he is. Where's Gasly? Gasly's just starting his lap. So, can Schumacher get through? Well, he's not going to get through, but can he improve his position? Evening, Mr. Water. Schumacher does improve and he just misses out, but he goes ahead of Piastri. Right, Gasly. If he gets eliminated, this will be a shock because the Alpines have been consistent in their pace this season. And Ocon up in fifth, again doing a great job so far this weekend. He's definitely looking as a... potentially looking as a driver to replace Hamilton or Russell if neither of them signs. Obviously we've got Teo in reserve as well. Gasly gets himself up to P8, so we're going to lose Yuki Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Piastri, Magnussen and Zhou in the first session. Bottas has made it through. So penalty for George. It's not showing the penalty for Lewis yet. I don't know why, because we did put a new gearbox on him. Let's see. We're going to go with the same tyres again. Just going to try and do one lap again. I'm just going to check. I did put that gearbox on Lewis. Yes, I did. Okay, we'll send out Lewis first this time. Now said that, George. Impressive laps from Hamilton and Russell, looking punchy. They're actually down on where we've been since the beginning of the season. We've been dominant, or we were dominant up until about 3-4 races ago. And then, well, ever since Barcelona, things have started to go wrong with incidents, taking points off us. But, the last 2 races in particular, we've actually not been visibly as quick as we could have been. Actually, no, we were strong at Hungary. We weren't strong at, or as strong as we could have been at Silverstone, and Spa was a nightmare. Evening, Derek. Hulkenberg has snuck out between our 2 drivers.
And circuit's all clear. Good to go.
Oh, we got traffic coming out early this time. It's an Alpine. It's Ocon.
So no one ahead. Good to go.
We've cleared him with Lewis. So Lewis has got a clear run now. It's going to be a little trickier for Russell. He's got a Williams coming out in front of us as well as Albon. And then he'll have to potentially negotiate past Ocon as well. So George may need a second lap here. Right, past Albon with no issues. That's good. Is Ocon going to be in the way? We're always watching Russell on this channel. Well, we won't be next season. Because we're moving to a new team next year, and we won't be signing George wherever we go. So 109.7 for Hamilton. Just 43 thousandths of a second slower for Russell. That'll be enough to get us through. And to be fair, we only watched him for 1 season on the last game. We signed him for our 3rd season at Williams. Right, Gasly once again is living dangerously. Just outside the drop zone. Norris currently is in the top 10, but got to say that you would expect Gasly to knock Norris out. Hulkenberg had a bad lap. He's starting a flying lap with traffic in front of him. Should have got past Bottas without any issues there. Now he's got to get past the Red Bulls without losing time. Gets past Perez. This might slow down Perez a little bit, actually. I think Perez might have just had a little bit of a lift at the start of his flying lap. Right, where is Gasly? Is he on a flying lap? Yes, he is. So this is Gasly's chance to get out of the drop zone. We're looking at Gasly, Ricciardo and Bottas are the flyers, trying to find their way through. Albon also on a flying lap. And Albon did not improve. Unless he's just started his flying lap. He's just started his flying lap. So Albon's got a chance here. Let's see, can Gasly get across the line? Gasly improves. He's up to 7th. Who else are we looking at? We're looking at Albon. That's it. Albon's the last one. Oh, and he's got so much traffic. You love Russell, but it'd be nice if I could distribute this spotlight equally. Well, we spent a lot of time focusing on Lewis last season in his bid to successfully win his 8th World Championship. We've focused a little bit more on Russell this year because he's currently winning the World Championship. But also it depends on how the drivers are doing in the race. If they're off on their own at the front, we ignore them and we focus on the driver that isn't doing so well and needs more work to get them through the grid. If both our drivers are off and running, we tend to ignore them completely and look at what's going on further down the order. So, spotlight is determined on where the action is. Albon did not make it through. And wasn't even close in the end. Probably had just too much traffic to try and fight his way past. Again, it's not showing Lewis's penalty. I don't know why. Right, we're into the final session. We're going to go 1 lap on these tyres, and then we're going to do 2 laps on a set of new tyres and see how we do. So, let's send them out. Out with Russell first. And out with Lewis. We've got a Ferrari between us this time of Carlos Sainz. And a whole flurry of activity. We've got Gasly, Ocon and... Actually, no, just Gasly and Ocon. Both coming out behind Lewis as well.
Yeah.
There you see one of the Alpines. I'm not sure which one's which. Let's have a look. It's Ocon, then Gasly. Alonso leaving the garage now as well. So hopefully we'll get a nice clean run. Looks like most of the cars are coming out early. But Ocon might be close enough to get a slipstream off the back of Lewis here. We are running scrubs, so this first lap is purely about building confidence, putting down a banker lap. And then we'll have 2 flying laps on fresh rubber to really attack the top of the standings.
All clear ahead. To go. So circuit's all clear. Good to go.
So both drivers starting their flying laps now. Got George's confidence up just so you can see a visual indicator of what I'm trying to do in terms of building their confidence. George should get a really big confidence boost here because he's going to be the first one to set a time. So he's going to be going purple in every sector. And actually he held purple over Leclerc there. No, Sainz. Leclerc's just on track at the moment. Just in front of Alonso. Or was that Stroll? No, that is Alonso. Alonso is about to overtake Leclerc. This might slow down Alonso on his flying lap, actually. Russell's still the fastest on track. I am surprised. I thought Sainz might have had him. As he crosses to, well, comes around the final corner, crossing the line now. And he goes into peak confidence for his next 2 laps. That is excellent. Let's have a look at Lewis.
And we will box end of this lap.
Gets into very, very high confidence. Long way off, but again, these are banker laps. These are not the laps that I expect to win, although that is a mighty lap from George.
Understood.
Sainz off the pace as well. Is Sainz running old tyres? Not as old as ours, but yes, he was running old tyres. In fact, everyone's running old tyres in his first stint. Right, let's see. Alonso up to P4. Leclerc is on his flying lap and is now moving back past Alonso. Or trying to. Not a great place to make the move. Stroll coming out now. Perez starting his flying lap. Perez has just left the garage. Stroll just left the garage as well. It's a short lap. It's only 1 minute 9 and change. So we'll probably go out with about 5.5 minutes to go. We'll go 2 laps. There we go. Two laps for Lewis and fresh tyres for him as well. Speed time up just a touch. Perez, very slow lap. He definitely got held up. Max on his flyer right now. Leclerc is P3. And Max goes P1. All right, here we go.
Let's just focus on the outlap.
Understood.
Time for the pole position shootout. 5 minutes to go in the session. We've got enough time for 2 flying laps. And since the patch fixed the tyre heating issue, we don't have to worry about grip. But we do want to try and maximise our driver's pace with confidence. George has just dipped slightly into the very high confidence, but hopefully the first lap will put him into peak, and then he'll be able to attack the track on his second flying lap with the best bonuses we can get him. Lewis is a little bit further down, but again, hopefully he'll have a good first lap on these tyres, which will get him into peak for his second flying lap.
And circuit's all clear. Good to go.
George has got a little bit of traffic. See if he gets held up. Potentially a little bit, but shouldn't be too bad. He did have to get past another car, I think. Or maybe he didn't. Maybe it was just the one. No improvement for George in the first sector. Maybe he did get held up. We have got an improvement for Lewis in sector 1. No improvement for George in the middle sector. This is a little disconcerting, but he is heavier on fuel than he was on his first run, so we'll see what he can do on his next flyer. Definitely held up for Lewis there at the end of his lap. That's not good. I think he improved a little bit. He's on a 110.3. But we didn't get his confidence up enough, which is a bit of a shame. Which Red Bull is that right in front of us? It's Max. Actually, this could work out really nicely for Lewis. He'll get a slipstream off Max, who is currently the pole sitter. Last thing we want is for Max to fall behind Lewis here, because then we'll just give Max a slipstream. Right, there goes Max.
All clear.
Lewis
good to go.
in quick pursuit after him. Right, can Russell improve on this lap? Can Lewis improve? He's still 7/10 off pole at the moment. Although we did get held up very badly at the end of the last lap. George improves. Lewis goes purple. Second sector split coming up for George. He improves again. No improvement in the middle sector for Lewis, which is expected because of the dirty air. This is going to be a good sector though, I think. George coming up to the line. Improves but stays P2.
Currently P2.
What about Lewis?
Yeah, we're happy with that.
Takes P2, but Max improves, and that puts George 3/10 down. And both of our drivers, don't forget, are getting penalties. It's going to be a 10-place penalty for George. Should be a 5-place penalty for Lewis for his second additional gearbox and George's first ERS. So that will drop George to 13th and Lewis to P7. Is Gasly still on a flyer? I think he is. What can Gasly do? Nothing. He can't improve. So there we go. There we finish second and third, but with penalties that will drop us further down the order. Max, as predicted, very quick here. Perez, though, did not get a clean lap at all. Down in 10th. 1.5 seconds off his teammate. Ferrari not as quick as I was expecting them to be. Alonso about where I thought he would be. Surprised to see the Ferraris down in 6th and 9th. Thought they would be higher than that. Right, so again, it's not showing there's a penalty for Lewis, but we have put a new gearbox in that should drop him down 5 places. George with a new ERS will drop him down 10 places.
Tension continues to build here as race day begins.
Zandvoort's highly banked corners make it one of the more unusual Grand Prix circuits. Dutch driver Max Verstappen won with a dominant lead here in 2021, driving the home fans to a frenzy as he did.
Lewis there, getting himself ready for today's race. Karun, how's he going to be feeling at the moment, do you think?
You know what, Crofty? They're performing well above what's been expected of them so far. All in all, not a bad place to be.
So let's see how the teams tackle this race today at the Dutch Grand Prix.
So, form and tactics can go out the window here, potentially. It is a very heavy rain race. There is a penalty of 10 places for George. And apparently no penalty for Lewis. I don't understand that. That must be a bug. But yeah, Lewis should be down in P7. He's not. Farah, if he was here, would be pissed. But he's not. So he will be when he watches the replay. I'm guessing he's busy with Train Sim 4. Right, let's have a look at what we're going to do tyre-wise. So we're looking at very heavy rain coming quite early on. So we're going to go soft at the start, then we're going to go straight to full wets. And then we're going to go to inters. And then we're going to go back to softs. Alright, let's move these where they need to be. So we want to box probably there, but not necessarily there. Might box a lap early. We'll see what happens once the race gets started. The rain may come a lap or two earlier or later. Inters, we're looking at switching to inters somewhere around about lap 34. And then we're looking at switching to dries somewhere around about lap 55. But these aren't obviously nailed. So that's going to be our strategy. A bit of a wild one. Let's get rid of this and get rid of this, because we're not going to be using those. Would be nice to be able to copy the strategy directly over onto Lewis, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to work that way. Let's get rid of that one. We'll edit this. We just need to add one extra stint. There we go. So we want to start on softs. Actually, we need to do this first. We want to go full wets, then we want to go inters, and then we want to go softs and softs. So again, it's at around lap 15, around lap 35, and around lap 54, 55. Oops, don't need that last stint. There we go, strategies are chosen. Now, because we've got a lot of heavy rain coming, we can save fuel quite substantially during that heavy rain period. And even fairly well during the inter period as well. So, I would normally take out maybe 3 or 4 laps. So I'm going to take out 5 laps of fuel, because we will save that quite quickly. Actually, I'm taking out 6, aren't I? Not 5. Yeah, 6 laps. Going very aggressive on fuel. Lewis has got a chance to scamper off into the distance here. George is going to have to fight his way through. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't apply the penalty to Lewis, because we definitely put on a brand new gearbox, which we're now going to take off and switch back to this one. And we're going to do the same with George's ERS. Now that we've served the penalties for them, we're going to save them for when we actually need them. So we'll go back to the 62 ERS. There we go. And let's send the drivers to the starting grid.
Get ready for some fighting between the sand dunes here at the Dutch Grand Prix. This could be a big race for that man right there, Lewis Hamilton.
A second place start for them today. They'll be aiming for a podium, but could they even sneak the win?
And it'll be exciting to see just what will happen here today. The drivers are ready and the crowds are waiting. It's the Dutch Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go.
Alright, strong looking start for Lewis. Tucks in behind Max. We're holding off on the battery, as we like to do for the first couple of laps, so that we can then counter-attack the AI when they run out of battery and try and gain positions. Let's keep an eye on Russell, who is under a lot of pressure right now. surprised he's struggling to get away that quickly, considering how light his car is right now. See Max trying to scamper away, which he will do, and then we will start to hunt him down again. Hard tyres for Alonso and Ocon, Leclerc, Gasly, Perez and Sainz. So those guys are going to struggle, and that's really good for George, because he will have significant pace over those guys once he gets some clean air and starts making some moves. Already Hamilton is over a second behind, and Alonso all over the back of us. Alonso is definitely going with us, moving a gap to Ocon already. There's George, only 15th. Just staying out of the way of the carnage for his first couple of laps, and I say then we'll start pushing really hard. As much as I want to break the battery now and start hunting down Verstappen, I don't want to drag Alonso with me. So I'm just having to try and hold him up just a little bit. I'm not pushing as hard as I could do yet. It does mean I'm going to have to work really hard to catch Max, but it means I should be able to break away from Alonso in the process. Because if I go too early, I won't be able to break away cleanly. Starting to get a little hot. Now we're going to start to push.
Use the overtake.
So we'll leave Lewis alone for a moment. Let's focus
DRS
on
has
George
been
because he's got
enabled.
some cars in front that he needs to
Currently
deal with.
P2.
Let's put him into a more aggressive overtake, which is risky given how he performed last time out. We'll do the same with Lewis as well. You can see he's already dropped Alonso
Push and hold, overtake.
as the AI is now starting to run out of battery. We
Just show me
have
what you've
full
got.
batteries to play about with.
Let's go for it.
Yep.
And we've taken half a second out of Max already. Russell is stuck at the moment. We need to get him through as quickly as possible. So let's up Russell's tyres even more.
Let's push and get past him.
Really push hard. And there you can see our battery advantage now. Gets us up, and that will give George a nice little confidence boost. There we go. Can we go around the outside of Ricciardo here? Yes, we can. That's another confidence boost. We're going to get George into peak confidence
You are fastest man on track.
very quickly here, as he immediately looks to make a move on Norris as well. And there we go, another successful overtake. We've still got half a battery to play with. Hamilton has almost caught Verstappen, and you can see how far ahead we are from Alonso now. As Russell gets the move done, we're going to drop those tyres down just a touch.
Just reduce your speed.
He's now into peak confidence, which means he's getting the biggest stat bonuses, which will make overtaking and just cornering so much quicker for Russell. Right, Lewis is in DRS range. We're going to go into top up now. We're going to also go into fuel save and start conserving the tyres a bit more. Can we get Hulkenberg here?
Understood.
Yes, we can. We've run out of battery, but we've got the DRS into fuel save. Calm down those
Lifting coast just a
tyres.
little.
George is now good to go. We've got him into the absolute best stat bonus
Just
we can
manage
give
these
him.
tyres.
8s across the board there.
Charge the pack.
Oh, we've got a shunt. Oh, that's a big shunt. It's a VSC. It's a red flag. It is a red flag. We just saw a car go skidding across the gravel in the background there. How he just kept his foot in and just didn't have the grip.
I'm sorry about that, guys.
And for the crew watching on in the garage, that really must have been a hard one to take.
Well, the real kicker is that's going to reset the confidence from a restart. So all that work we just did, we're going to have to start all over again. But we'll save a load of fuel. We're going to go straight into the heavy wet conditions. So let's make sure we have full wet tyres. Good news and bad news for you, Farah. Good news is that the penalties have been served. Bad news is that Lewis didn't have to, apparently. He didn't serve his penalty.
Here we go once more.
So he stayed second and Russell dropped from 3rd to 13th.
And it's lights out. And away we go.
And because of that red flag, it's reset our strategy, so we are going to have to do all that again.
So push now.
Oh, we got a big crash already.
Just stay close.
Oh, what has happened?
And yes, we have. We've
Who
had a
caused
crash. What happened there?
Is that Sainz causing that against Perez? It was. Sainz hit Perez and then came to a stop right in front of George. George has now got a broken front wing. And quite a badly broken front wing. So I think you're... oh, God, he's got rear wing and suspension damage as well. You are a curse on your favourite driver, Mr. Farah.
And there's been
You turn up
quite a
and
crash.
he immediately goes to shit.
Now this was at turn 1. Pushing a bit too hard at this point.
And that's
And
how we
not
got the
just
rear
one
wing
car
damage. We got
involved in
shunted
that,
from
as you can
behind as
see.
well. Okay, well, we have to box him. That's the only front wing I've got left. It's not good. We may as well give him fresh wets.
Box. Come in, box.
Retire him. It's not over yet.
We're just going to need to introduce a
We'll
little
give
bit
him
of lift
until
coast.
the wet weather stops.
50 metres at most.
Yep.
George getting into accidents at peak confidence. Well, no, he didn't. This is the thing. Whenever you hit a restart, it resets your confidence back down to its starting level. So you can see Lewis was at a higher confidence level than that, and now he's not because of the restart. But I've got no spare front wings left now, so if either driver has a shunt, that's it. It's not a massive chunk out of the rear wing there. It's not ideal.
And track will clear on exit.
We are going to have to remember to make sure that we... let's just drop those tyre pastes down a little bit. We are going to have to remember to make sure that we box Russell before we retire him, if we retire him, just so that we can, get a good time in for the DHL competition, because we forgot to do that last time out. He got P4 with a bad wing the other time. Yes, he did, but this is a different situation. Actually, he did that without DRS, didn't he? Because he didn't have a working DRS to bring the wing damage meant he had no DRS. It'd be interesting to see if we can repeat that. At least get him into the points.
If we could just drop back a bit.
I'm expecting there to be at least one more VSC or safety car at some point in this race as well. So, if it's a full safety, that'll help. it tremendously because that closed the field back up. And maybe we can get a favourable pit stop position as well. Evening, Victor. Got some clear track to set some good times. That is true, Anthony. Very true. But he's a long way off. He is 35 seconds off the lead. So, yeah. His chances of winning this race have pretty much evaporated. Even if there was a safety car and that gap closed right back up, he does have significant damage that the front two do not. Besides, who knows? We could end up with another Hamilton has to retire situation again, just like last night.
So just charge that pack.
Right, we're pretty much out of battery. Let's put him into top up now, and let's focus on Lewis for a little bit. In a way, it's kind of a blessing that Lewis didn't have to serve that penalty, otherwise he would have been caught up in all of that as well, and that would be both our cars in trouble. This time Lewis is winning. Well, Lewis had a chance to win last night and then, spun into the wall and retired, so nothing is guaranteed. Sainz does have a penalty, as he damn well should, for causing all of that. Interestingly enough, no one else has a penalty. Right, let's have a look at strategy and start programming this in. So, we know that more rain is coming, or sorry, less rain is coming. We need to kind of figure out when we need to make that stop. And looking at this, it's probably going to be around lap 20, not lap 15. No, wait, lap 15 was for the full wets, and then we had the restart. So we were looking at lap 30-something. Obviously, that has changed. We're going to have a much more substantial period of dry running at the end as well. So, will softs go that distance from lap 40 to lap 72? No. Mediums will just about make it. Wets, that's not wet, sorry. Hards will make it more comfortable, but they'll be slower by about 3 seconds. So we're looking at a 132.51. Let's have a look at a soft and soft. We won't have full new soft tyres available. That is apparently 9 seconds quicker. So, well, no, 130 was, we said, a 132.52. It's about 3 seconds quicker by the look of it. So that is the strategy. Let's just get rid of that and go to mediums and save. And now we can see, yeah, it's only 2 seconds difference. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at. We'll see how well that works. Lewis is about a second behind. Not really pushing the tyres as hard as we could. We're only going to be on these tyres for another 10 laps or so. So yeah, we can afford to push them a bit harder than that.
And we'll push. Yep.
Right, let's take a look at lap times. George was a second quicker than Schumacher on that last lap. And in terms of pace, is about on par with Leclerc and Sainz in that kind of window. He's not got Hamilton and Verstappen pace, but he has got pace that matches Ocon. So maybe a decent points finish isn't outside the window of possibility for Russell, depending on what happens. As I say, we get a safety car or a VSC, especially around the time of a pit stop. That will make things much better for us, potentially. Let's have a look. Sainz is running around with a still broken wing. I've got to imagine that he doesn't have a spare wing available. Otherwise, he would have boxed. That is not insignificant damage to that Ferrari there. So he's going to be holding up everybody from Norris backwards. See, he's a 125.0. He's a second slower than Russell's doing. Norris has got some damage as well, otherwise he'll be on the back of Sainz. He's missing an end plate, but I'm guessing he's also got other damage, maybe to his suspension or his chassis, or both. And Norris is holding up the Williams at the moment, and then Ricciardo's pace, he's got wing damage as well. There's a lot of cars here with broken wings, so that means a lot of long pit stops. A lot of 8-9 second pit stops for these guys. That also helps Russell. Who else has got some damage? Let's check both the Williams cars. Let's start with Albon. His wings look okay. I think Tsunoda's wings look okay as well. Tsunoda's wings look fine, so maybe those two are just being held up by Norris, who we know has got wing damage, and that's going to need to be replaced. You can see that front right end plate missing. Sainz has got the front right half of his wing missing. Let's have a look at Perez, because Perez did take some damage, potentially, in that. Or did he managed to escape with just maybe a little knock on his tyres? His wings look okay. And obviously you can't see suspension or chassis damage, but you can see the drop in pace. And he's not necessarily running off pace at the moment, so look at Stroll. I think Stroll is fine. He's just slow. Stroll looks okay. Alright, Russell's got the gap down to 10 seconds. Schumacher, so he is gaining ground, and he's gaining ground quite quickly. He's in the 123s. Track is starting to dry up. So again, this is helping George a little bit. The fact that there are pockets of cars being held up by other cars with damage means that he's gaining significant ground on them. Cut back to Lewis. There he is. Fuel savings going quite nicely. We're down to just 4 kilos over, and it is about 1.4 kilos a lap here. So we need to save just under 3 laps of fuel. We've got plenty of time to do that. How you doing, Harmony? Good to see you. Let's take a risk and give George a little bit more pace. I mean, he's still low confidence, so I don't want to overcook him too long, because it just increases the risk of him having another accident. Good win for Liverpool today. Yeah, 3-1. I actually watched the highlights on YouTube just before starting the stream. Could have been more. A couple of good saves by Kelleher as well. Can't really fault him for the first goal. but he made some really, really good saves. And Lewis is falling behind Max, who is trying to break away. We are getting closer and closer. Let's just burn the rest of these tyres for Lewis
Let's
now.
get after it.
What's his confidence level at? Still starting level. You need to see how quickly the fuel load is coming down in heavy rain. About a 5 second, well, 4.5, 5 second lead over Ocon. That's good. He's ahead of Alonso. Ocon looking quick again. He is really shaping up to be a contender for a driver to sign next season. And there you can see the gaps. Schumacher has caught the back of the two Alfa Romeos, and as you can see, he is now kind of stuck at their pace. George is nearly 2 seconds a lap faster than the pair of them, or the three of them. So he is closing them down. Into George's pit window, we're getting very close to the crossover point. And depending on where the track changes over, George could actually steal a march on the rest of the grid here. Get onto those inters at just the right time. Which would allow him to jump ahead of some of the cars he's hunting. Closing back on Verstappen, it's down to 1.6 again. We're down to 3.5 kilos of fuel to save, so making big savings while we can. And let's just take a quick look at this little battle here. Stroll, Leclerc and Perez. I say battle, they're all keeping close, but they're not really attacking each other. They're staying around about 7-8 tenths apart.
It's not going to be long now, mate.
I suppose the only real battle that's going on right now is, of any real value, is this one. Albon trying to find a way past Norris, and George is almost on the back of Schumacher, so we need to think about switching over to watch that now, because if he's gaining at 2 seconds a lap, he'll be on them by the end of this lap. And there they are. Desperately need to try and get some overtakes in for George before the pit stop, if at all possible, just to give him a nice little confidence boost. We've got some battery to use, so let's go ahead and deploy it. Let's also stop his fuel saving for now.
Overtake.
Try and get him up at least one place. But hopefully we can get all three of them. It's going to be boxing for inters at the end of this lap, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call in Lewis.
Okay, Lewis, so box, 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 box.
Let's do the same for George.
And all box, box for the Inter.
Box, box.
Yeah, stop. sure keep these tyres in good nick.
Understood.
Just cool the car.
Yeah.
Very slippy in the box.
Understood.
So remember, white line on exit.
Come on, George, complete the move. There we go. Quick stop for Lewis. And Verstappen stayed out. Interesting. Okay, let's warm those tyres up.
And let's push.
Yep.
Well, apparently Russell somehow dropped back about a second behind Schumacher there. I don't know what happened. He clicked away. My guess is that he was in the wrong position to come into the pits, and so had to lift. But that's a quick stop, 2 seconds. Why is no one else boxed? I don't know, but I'm not gonna knock it. This is perfect.
Use the overtake.
Understood.
These inters up the temperature as quickly as possible. We should easily undercut the 3 cars that were in front of George here. Max has stayed out. Ocon boxes. Leclerc boxes. And we go inters for Leclerc. Oh, that's a slow stop. That wheel got stuck. Sainz coming in. He's got a wing change. No, he hasn't got a wing change because they haven't got a spare wing. He's got a penalty.
Let's just manage these tyres.
That's a huge penalty. That's what, 15 seconds? He is getting a wing change. So they did have one. They just decided to wait. Oh, what a disastrous stop for Sainz. And George is going to get him. Ricardo and Zhou have also been overcut. Or undercut, sorry. There you go. And Verstappen finally boxes.
Getting the pack back up.
He's left it very late, and he's going to lose the lead to Lewis here, I think. Oh, that's a quick stop. That's a very quick stop. Lewis potentially held up by Perez. That might actually save Max here. We just missed the shot of Lewis going around the corner. There he is. There's Lewis. So Hamilton does have position over Verstappen. Stroll yet to box. He's going to drop miles down the order. So Leclerc has probably jumped a couple of cars. Let's all go in the pit lane. And here comes Russell. Can he jump any more cars here? He's up to 13th. So he's jumped Piastri as well. So that was a very good pit stop. He jumped Zhou, Schumacher, Bottas, Piastri and Ricciardo, and Sainz got dropped back because of his massive penalty. George up to P13. And out of battery. Let's put him into top up. Let's see. Stroll finally boxes. Lewis has been caught because he was held up, but still has the lead. Let's save the tyres. Russell can start looking after his tyres a little bit, bring those temps down. We've still got a little way to go on these ones yet.
Just reduce your speed.
Let's get the temps back under control. Start building the batteries back up. Finish off the fuel saving, which is almost done. Lewis has been passed by Max, who has had that little extra step of pace.
Right then, we can take a look now. Now we're watching Max Verstappen here. It's there for the taking.
That's a battery. Well, no. Yeah, it's got to be a battery overtake. Even though the red light was blinking. Oh, of course, the red light's going to blink. It's wet weather, so it's going to permanently blink.
And Verstappen says
that was a
thank
battery
you very
overtake.
much.
Question is, can we stay with him, or is he going to just sprint off into the distance? You can see how much we gained on track by the fact that we're now 12 seconds ahead of Ocon when we were, what, 4.5? George is 2.5 seconds off Magnussen. Too early to see what Magnussen's pit time or lap times are going to be. 1:18.0 for Max. Oh, that is quick. That is so quick. If things finished as they stand right now, Lewis would take the lead in the championship by 1 point, and that 1 point would be the fastest lap. If he doesn't get the fastest lap and finishes in second, then they will be tied, and Russell will still be top on number of wins. Alright, that's not so good. That was a 1:18.9 for Magnussen. That's a second faster than George, but he is pulling away from everyone else behind him. He's looking after his tyres, building up his battery and fuel saving, so it's not horrendous. Norris is definitely a bit of a stopper at the moment, which means we should catch him. What is the gap? 3.2 seconds. Let's see how quickly we can bring that down. We're only a couple of places away from getting into the points. Hamilton is closing back up. Gasly's jumped all the way up to 4th. Oh wow, Gasly's done well. He's taken advantage of the switch to Inters. Sainz is still stuck behind Schumacher at the moment, down in 18th place. So, it's going to be another disappointing weekend for Carlos by the look of it. Don't forget, you still have time to vote on the poll on the community tab for who we're going to control tomorrow in the Singapore race replay. We'll be doing the Singapore Sting scenario afterwards with Mercedes. So you've got 5 teams to choose from: Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren, Alpine and Aston Martin. Go cast your votes if you haven't already. I'll be taking the result at around about 9 PM tomorrow, just as we start the stream. Is there an ABL option? Well, Mercedes are locked into the Singapore Sting, so because of that, Mercedes are not a choice in the race replay. So yeah, the race replay is an ABL, but the scenario is very much not. About 15 laps left on these tyres. And I'd say we're done fuel saving for Lewis now. And George is nearly done on the fuel save as well.
Yep.
fact, I'm going to go ahead and just say that we're done with the fuel saver, Russell. We can always just say that a little bit more later if we need to, but we should naturally be able to save about a kilo over the next 15 laps, I would say, or close to. And then we still got, you know, another 30 odd laps after that as well. So yeah, we're probably done fuel saving for Russell now. Speaking of, let's cut to George because he's on the back of Magnussen now, who has dropped off the back of Norris. His pace has settled down now into the 119s, and Russell is going faster, and he's not pushing. All we did was stop his fuel save. Oh, yellow flag. There's Hamilton. He's locked up.
Yeah, don't sweat it.
God damn it, Lewis. What is going on with my drivers at the moment?
So this is what happened. Now we're at turn 11 now. And the car fails to respond.
At least there wasn't a big queue of traffic to stop him from rejoining the track. You went a bit wide. Yeah, no shit. How much does that cost me? Oh, a lot. Gap 6 seconds. Oh, God damn it, Lewis. I'll bet you as well. Farah left the stream and Hamilton immediately locked up. You watch, Farah's going to come back and Russell's going to crash. He's going to explode in this huge fireball. Perspex. Yeah, they need to fix that quickly because it's just horrible. It's like you watched it all, so no mushroom cloud here. You didn't comment if you didn't hit the wall.
And happy to pick up the pushing level.
Let's get ready to... oh, George's confidence is still low. God, imagine what we could do with peak confidence for George. That'd be amazing. Let's get him into clean air.
We'll just have some PU cooling.
I'm out of battery. Okay, all right. Let's just harvest a little bit of battery. We'll stay with this because if we do get alongside under braking, we will then quickly slap on whatever battery we've got just to brake clear in the acceleration. Sainz still stuck behind Schumacher, but he has gained a position. Bottas has dropped back by the look of it. There's a bit of a fight going on there between Piastri, Schumacher, Sainz and Bottas. Oh, Russell's doing this weird twitchy thing again, but he is alongside, and we didn't have enough battery to really do anything with it. I don't know why they keep doing this weird twitchy thing when they get damaged like this, when they're trying to overtake. It's like they're trying to drive in clean air when they get within half a second or something, and then as soon as they drop out of that, that instruction disappears. We saw this last night with George at Spa, twitching and jinking all over the place. Maybe it's just a low confidence thing, I don't know. But it just looks horrible. It looks like there's a bug in the code somewhere when they do that. Water level is creeping back up just a touch.
Push and
Let's
hold,
go for it.
overtake.
And there we go, he's going to make the move under braking, hopefully. Come on, George, don't crash, don't crash. I think Magnussen's pushing at the same time as us, god damn it. Alright, this time, come on, George, this time. Magnussen's pushing because there's no way he'd be able to hold off that battery charge without pushing. So we'll just start to conserve again.
If we could just
Yeah,
drop back
Magnussen's
a bit.
closed the gap to Norris. He's halved the gap. So Magnussen's obviously having a let's have a crack at Norris moment. We'll just have to sit behind and wait. And then try and pick them both off. Hamilton's falling further and further behind. Let's try and up his pace a little bit, if we can. Lap 31, we've still got about 6-7 laps to go, I think, before we have to box. Again, I want to try and get Russell past before the pit stops if possible. But yeah, we just don't have any real kind of pace at the moment. More in this saving mode.
Start reducing that management.
Did we do any damage to his powertrain? Engine still looks good, ERS still looks good, gearbox is fine. So no, we didn't, that's good. George's confidence has just snuck into medium. That's good. Hopefully Max is going to make another weird choice of when to box, and we can maybe close the gap a bit. Ocon and Gasly all over the back of each other. Alonso and Stroll keeping a watching brief. And Perez and Leclerc aren't too far behind as well. It's all starting to close up a little bit behind Ocon. And we've definitely got more pace than the two in front of us, but we need to be able to actually actualise that. And while we're stuck behind them, that is not going to happen. Yellow flag. I immediately looked on the map to see if it was Hamilton. It wasn't. It is one of the Alpines. Gasly has had a spin.
We've got a yellow flag here. Now we can see
I
what
was just
happened.
praising Gasly
Now
not
it's
long
quite
ago,
wet
and
for those
yeah,
on the
now he's
track.
dropped it.
Oh no, that's not how to do it. Not a mistake they'll want to make again.
Oh, hello. George is suddenly in a position to have a crack. See if we can get alongside Magnussen into turn 1. Not quite close enough, but we might get him out of turn 1. Rain has stopped, so this is the last of the inters. Come on, up the hill, get him up the hill. He's got him. And there we go, George's confidence improving. We've got rid of the negative modifiers now. Next up, Norris.
Understood.
Might as well push those tyres now.
Let's just keep pulling the gap.
Yep.
Kills the battery again. Norris with an 18.8. Yeah, that was a second faster than Magnussen. I wonder if Norris is trying to push. Chance here. It's just hurting for acceleration at the moment. Going to have a look under braking here. It's going to be close, it's going to be very tight. Couldn't quite do it.
There seems to be some great resistance.
But we'll see if we can get him up the hill. And we'll spend all the battery we've got. George, you can do this. That's it. Out of battery. Put him into harvest mode. Just didn't have enough battery left. Let's give Lewis a bit more pace here as well.
And think about less lifting coast.
Not really closing on Max, but we are pulling away from Ocon. I've got battery, but I don't want to use that until we hit dry, so I can try and sprint on the new slicks. Into the pit window. We're going to play it safe with Lewis. We are going to go mediums. With George, we are going to go soft and just go aggressive because kind of need to, I think. Just trying to get George into a close enough position to have a lunge into turn 1. We're leaving him in deploy so that the second we get some battery in turn 1, we can then use it to accelerate out of it if we're close enough.
It's not going to be long now, mate.
Which we're not.
Yeah, copy.
Maybe we can get him in turn 4. Come on, get him up the hill. He's just blocking the move. I don't think we're going to get Norris before the pits. But one more lap for Lewis. George, I might risk boxing him this lap. Yeah, I'm going to box George this lap. It's a risk.
Box.
But by the time he gets around next lap, the track will be
Just
dry
box.
enough. Considerably dry enough, I believe. He actually got close enough to have a look on that lap as well. Never mind. Let's box Lewis. A set of mediums. Quick stop for George.
Box, gives a pit confirm.
Is that Science behind us? It is. Science is boxed as well, and Joe's boxing too.
Need to make sure keep these tyres in good nick.
Oh, George just avoiding being lapped there by Max. That was close. It's not over yet. That would be a disaster if it happens. Come on, George. Push.
Yellow line on exit.
It will kill any chance of an undercut. Right, Lewis is out on track and is right behind Charles Leclerc. We're into DRS.
Let's just manage these tyres. Copy.
Right, unfortunately we did not get over... Oh no, we did, I think. Or was it just a... I think we might have got one overtake out of that. Max is in the box now. So now we can calm George down a bit. Here comes Lewis. Leclerc's going to be boxing, but we're going to get DRS for Lewis here. I think Max is still going to stay ahead of us. Yeah, Max is coming out the box already.
Leclerc in the pit lane now.
Yeah, Lewis got held up badly there. What tyres did Max go on to? He went on to mediums as well. Oh, we actually lost time for Lewis. Maybe we boxed him a lap too early. Well, let's go for the fastest lap while we can.
So it's hammer time. Okay.
We have it now, but we won't have it for long. Right, moment of truth. Can we jump Norris? Comfortably. So the undercut definitely worked for George. And closed the gap significantly to Sonoda as well, who's on mediums. Albon is on softs and will probably have to stop again. still some moisture on the track, so this is probably not the best time to actually go for the fastest lap, but we'll see. We'll watch the sector times. See if they go purple. Oh, there we go. Yeah, fastest lap for Perez, 1:13.3. He's on soft, so we might not beat this. We are purple in the first, but there is still performance to find on as the track continues to dry out. George 7 seconds off the points now, and closing. Purple in the middle for Lewis.
And you're the fastest man on track.
And that is a purple lap, a 1:12.7.
So let's uplift and coast all round.
Understood.
And now we're going to calm those tyres right down. We've got to make these tyres last. These tyres not so
Yeah, we
much.
just need to make sure that we don't fall off a cliff on that tyre.
Perez has jumped Ocon. He's up to 4th and closing on Alonso, who is a long way back. 13 seconds off. Max has got this one won by the look of it. Mercedes' dominant streak that we had at the start of the season has definitely gone. We just don't have the performance advantage we did any longer. And those new wings have helped a little bit, but not enough. We are going to have to think very hard about what part we work on next. I think we're going to have to work on a new floor. We are a little limited on finances again. We're down to about 25 million for the rest of the season in terms of our cost cap. Just keep an eye on the plucky Frenchman, who has been so impressive in the last few races. So Ocon's definitely pushing right now, trying to get his way past. The smarter move for Ocon here would be to stay behind Perez for a bit if he's got, Perez is quicker. And use the pace of those soft tyres to pull him up onto the back of Alonso while looking after his mediums. And at the moment, as it is, with this fighting and being stuck right behind him, he's actually burning his tyres out. And you can see Lewis was the first to box. And his tyres are as good as Ocon's and will be better soon because we're looking after ours. Ocon is not looking after his. How long have we got on these tyres for George? Till lap 57. 12 laps. Just wondering whether I can up his pace a little bit yet. I'm going to wait until we get closer to Tsunoda. We do still have the fastest lap, which I am surprised of. I didn't think we'd still have that. It'd be sweet if these two take each other out. George has got his confidence almost back to starting levels. He's just got into very high. That's good. So he's now getting some bonuses. Lewis's bonus is a little bit higher. But taking it very easy on those tyres. And I'm starting to wonder whether I should have maybe gone more aggressive on the tyre choice with Lewis as well, gone for the softs. See, Perez's tyres down, sorry, not Perez, Ocon's tyres down to 83% now. His tyres are definitely overheating. He's burning that rubber. It's forcing Perez to push his tyres a little bit harder as well. But not as much. The track is now dry, fully dry. Russell is inside 5 seconds to Tsunoda. A red flag and Lewis is back in the game. A safety car and would be better. Red flag, everybody gets a free tyre, tyre change. A safety car, you're going to see some drivers box and other drivers not box. So it gives us the opportunity to gain positions at the same time as closing the gap as well. So a safety car would be better. Right, Ocon has made the move stick this time. Can he stay in front for a few laps? Sainz now up to 14th, stuck behind Magnussen. Let's check in on Carlos. As he immediately swings for an overtake and is going to complete that move into turn 1. There we go. So 13th place now, second up at Norris. Long way back from Russell though, so I'm not worried about Sainz. He's on soft tyres as well, so he is in the same boat as George. He's probably going to have to stop again. Well, he is going to have to stop again. I don't think those tyres will last. Mediums are a bit touch and go. Trouble I've got with Lewis looking after his tyres is that they'll last, but Verstappen, when he comes back out of the boxes, he's going to be mighty quick, and we're not going to be able to hold him back. Sainz has passed Norris, so Sainz is flying right now. It's been 1:13.0. Oh, he is very quick. And what's the gap to Yuki? 3.4 seconds. And really close by about 3/10 of a lap. Sainz won't be able to sustain that level of pace. so he will slow down again. We'll keep an eye on the gap to Russell. Sainz is a lap down as well, so he has theoretically got an extra 1.4 kilos of fuel to burn off. You see Max just getting into the twiggly bit there. That's where the leader is compared to where George is. So George not out of the woods in terms of avoiding being lapped. If he boxes, he will get lapped, but he'll have the pace to unlap himself. And there you see Sainz's pace has slowed right down again as he stopped his push. He's run out of battery. He's down to 1:14.8, so he's slower than George again. Inside 3 seconds. And 7 laps away. Let's up the tyre push just a little bit now for George. See if we can get his confidence up again. And there is the fastest lap being broken, this time by Charles Leclerc, 1:12.3. That is quick. Lewis's best was a 1:12.7. George should theoretically be able to beat that if he can string a good lap together. When he gets his new tyres. Although they won't be brand new, they'll still be better than the ones he's on right now. Ocon and Perez still scrapping away, and they're losing time to Alonso as a result. Leclerc on that flyer is now right up on the back of Stroll. And Leclerc's on mediums. Interesting. Keeping pace with Max. Losing a 10th or 2 a lap at the moment, but it's not too bad. Yuki's on a bit of a quick lap at the moment. 1:14.1. Yeah, he is 1:14.2. He is a little bit quicker at the moment. And George still 2 tenths faster. Yuki does not have to box again though. Yuki's actually pulling away from George at the moment. Yeah, Yuki's on a flyer. Look how much closer he is to Alex on this lap, and he's gained nearly a second on George. This is going to be a quick lap time. This is going to be in the 1:13s. 1:13.3. Alex has upped his pace a little bit as well. Russell's tyres starting to overheat a touch. Let's give him some battery. Let's really try and close the gap down to Yuki. Sainz dropping further behind Russell again, as you would expect. Alonso has closed the gap to Lewis a little bit. 7.5 seconds the gap now. There's George in the background. It's a new personal best in the first and middle sector for George. Yuki's now just under 2 seconds from Albon. 1:13.5 again, but 1:13.1 though for George. He's definitely hunting him down. Albon a 1:14.1. He's slowing down again. Hopefully Yuki will ease off on this lap. George out of battery now.
Charge the pack.
Just outside the pit window. We're going to try and stretch this stint just an extra lap or two if we can, just so it takes a little bit of pressure off the used tyres we'll be putting on. And then we see, yeah, Yuki has slowed down. And we took a second out of him on that lap.
Yep, fine.
Max is creeping ever closer to the back of George. Lewis coming up to lap Norris and Sainz as well. And Piastri boxes. So we've got the first of the soft tyre drivers to box. He's gone for another set of softs. There we go. We just missed the end of the stop, so I don't know whether it was a good one or not. It's Max. I think Max is going to box as well, you know. I'm going to start pushing Lewis like crazy because I think Max is going to box.
Understood.
Use the overtake.
So we're going to just burn these tyres like crazy now for Lewis. Because I don't think we've got enough life in these tyres to be anywhere near competitive for the next 17 laps. Would new mediums be quicker if I pushed them? Let's have a look. At this point, it's going to be, I think, softs over mediums. Let's get rid of that. That shouldn't be that. Oh, these are new softs for Lewis. Why are there not new softs for George then? So that's a 132.24 against a 132.25. So yeah, it's fractionally quicker, but that's without tyre pushing taken into consideration. Why does George not have an extra set of softs? Maybe he does. Let's have a look. No, he doesn't. Lewis does. How? Unless it took an extra set of softs from us in practice. understand how George doesn't have an extra set of softs. Ah, no, look, yeah. It's because we've already used the new softs. We're using them right now. That's why. Lewis flying at the moment. Perez has boxed. And he's gone for a fresh set of softs. Alright, let's really throw everything into these tyres for George. Albon boxes. So we need to try and overcut Albon here. Which is why you thought new mediums for George. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, I thought you were talking about Lewis. Let's have a look. I don't think new mediums would be better, but we'll try. It's 2 seconds slower, but we could go more aggressive. Maybe. Alright, let's try that. Let's do that. Let's box George this lap. No, I'm gonna stick to softs. Softs are gonna have much more pace. We're not gonna catch Perez. You know, we are 16 seconds, 16 and a half seconds off Perez, who has just boxed for fresh softs. As Lewis is a 1:11.7, that's quick. Very quick. But we do have to watch out for Alex, who is on softs, and the mediums will not hold up enough pace-wise. Not with a damaged car. If George's car wasn't damaged, yeah, mediums would probably make more sense, but we need that extra grip. Because if we push George too hard on those mediums, he could go flying off the track. Alright, can we get the overcuts? And Lewis is going purple again. Could be on an even faster lap here. So another quick stop for George, 2.09. That is Max. That's Alex. Oh, we got him. We got him. Ooh, that was close. Right, let's protect those tyres. Lewis did not go faster because he ran out of battery. $15 laps to go. We're not going to catch Max.
And just charge the pack.
But we've got enough time for basically a free pit stop, and then if Max has some kind of issue, we are, or if he goes a bit longer before he boxes, we've got a chance to close the gap right down. And like I said, if we get a safety car that closes the field up, well, it'll basically give Max a free pit stop, but it will bring us right back onto his backside again. And trying to look after George's tyres. I don't mind swapping position with Albon at this point. Oh, it's a slow stop for Lewis. Oh, we lost 4 seconds. Ah, what happened? And now we're going to be vulnerable to all that traffic that's coming through. Okay, we got out ahead of Leclerc but that could have gone very badly. We are behind Ocon, but we've got time to easily retake that position.
Just need to make sure we keep these tyres in good nick.
We can be a bit more aggressive with Lewis's tyres in terms of bringing them in.
Pick up the pace.
But we're now 30 odd seconds plus. We're 31 seconds behind Max now. We need something horrible to happen to Max to have any chance of winning this Grand Prix. Because he can box, you know, and come out ahead of Ocon. Comfortably ahead of Ocon. I'm going to risk putting George into harvest. Lewis is already in harvest. Let's ease off for a moment while he's there.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't
build
fall
some
off the
battery.
tyre.
I can stay in range, should be able to here. No. Oh, no, wait. Russell doesn't have a working DRS, does he? His rear wing's broken. Okay, never mind. Got some traffic in front. This is going to make this interesting. Sainz with a 1:11.7 sets a new fastest lap. Sainz box for fresh tyres. Freshish, yeah. He's in the same box as, or same boat as George. Lewis is back up.
So that's P2.
Traffic is going to play silly buggers. And it's going to help us over Ocon.
Charge that back.
And Russell has dropped out of range. So let's just brake clear. I was forgetting that George's DRS wasn't going to work because he had the wing damage. So we'll just get him back in front and see what happens. We might have enough pace in George's car to actually hunt down Yuki. You never know. 15 seconds, 11 laps. It's not impossible. 12 laps if Max decides to box and we get unlapped. Right. Next lap we go for fastest lap with Lewis. This lap we go for it with George. We should get DRS on the main stroke. Well, no, again, no DRS. Right, let's just go for it while we've got some battery. Not having a working DRS is so painful. We're so much quicker, but we just can't get past. Maybe up the hill. And we took 2 seconds out of Yuki on that lap, so yeah, it's doable. But we can get up to 9. Gotta get past Alex first, though. I forgot to push Lewis. Damn it, we'll do it on the next lap. It's 2.2 seconds faster on that last lap. I don't think Lewis has got enough pace to hunt down Max, unless Max boxes. Speaking of, there is Max. Albon and Russell are hunting him down pretty quickly here.
Charge the pack.
Got to look after these tyres. They're not going to last if we keep pushing them like that.
If we could just drop back a bit. Copy.
Just cool them right down. Right, here we go. Fastest lap attempt for Lewis.
Lewis, so it's hammer time.
Yep.
Purple in the first.
And happy to pick up the pushing level. Copy.
Purple in the middle. This should be flying lap complete. That is Norris and Sights in front of us. Thanks for coming. See you later, Sights. We have the fastest lap again, 1:11.1. Yeah, 0.6 faster than Sights' lap. I'm going to keep pushing.
Just have a think about.
At least we're going to keep pushing the tyres.
Understood.
We'll drop them down to that pace. Just want to maybe be in position to capitalise if Max does have to make a last-minute pit stop. Tyres are at 48%. You shouldn't have to, but you never know. Anything could happen. Let's get George's pace back up again now that his tyres are cooled down.
Happy to start reducing that management.
Starting to worry that George is not going to get past Alex, but if we can keep hauling it in Yuki, maybe we can get Yuki instead and still get 10th place and a point for George. That would tie things up at the top of the championship, because at the moment Lewis is on course for 19 points, which will put him a point clear. Yuki's pace like at the moment? 1:15.1, 1:13.8 for George on his last lap. Should be a little bit quicker on this lap. Albon is closing him down by 2 seconds a lap. And he's going to get lapped by Max potentially soon as well, because Max is lapping faster as well. Max at a 1:13.3, which again was nearly 2 seconds faster than Yuki. Oh, a second and a half faster than Yuki. With a 1:14.7, is he upping his pace a touch? Max a 1:13.1, Albon 13.9, Russell 13.8. We could catch Yuki. We're almost inside a pit window for
6 laps remaining
for Max if he has to make an emergency stop. George had a significant lead in the championship, but he's really let you down. I'm sure he feels terrible about it. I'm surprised you're still here, to be honest, Barra. I thought you'd have gone by now.
So happy to push now.
Yeah, agree.
Science playing silly buggers here.
Just work on getting that pack back up.
Okay.
5 laps.
Right, I need Max to have a spin and break a wing and have to pit. The only way we're going to beat him. Or a significant lockup. Something that causes him to lose a bit of time and force him to make a pit stop is the only chance I've got. Back in range of Albon. We are 6 seconds off of Yuki. Pace is dropping. How is Yuki keeping that pace up with those tyres? .114.1.
4 to go.
Understood.
Again, getting in the way.
Use the overtake.
Yep.
Right, given how much the lack of DRS is hurting us, we're going to have to wait and pick our spots to try and get the overtake done on Albon. I think this is our last realistic chance. Because Yuki's pace just isn't dropping enough. He's going a 113.4. What the hell? This is where we've got to go for it.
Let's push and get past
Up
him.
the hill.
Three to go.
Come on, George. You haven't got much in the way of battery. I need you to use what you've got.
Just show me what you've got then.
Copy.
Come on. Up the inside. Alex will not get DRS from that.
So
That's
we've
good.
got battery at the moment.
Understood.
We're out of battery again. Right, Russell is into 10th. And we took 2.3 seconds out of Yuki on that lap. It's not impossible. It's highly unlikely, but it's not impossible.
2 more
We've
laps.
finally told Sainz to bugger off. He's gone. We've dropped him. Gonna leave Lewis in
Just charge
neutral.
the pack.
The gap is 17.5 seconds. Like I said, unless something happens to Max, which is not looking likely, then he's won this Grand Prix. Can we hold back Russell? Hold back Alonso. Albon. Get your names right tonight. Can we hold back Alex Albon? There's Yuki. And Yuki's been lapped as well. So it's 1 lap left for all of us. So let's just go for it. Oh, we're lapped.
Just stay
I've
close
been
to him.
worrying about fuel. We're lapped. Oh, all right. Okay, we've got a little bit of extra fuel to burn. Completely didn't even think about that. I think I was deliberately being careful in case Verstappen needed to box.
be a one more lap.
Well, I could have started pushing a couple of laps ago. This is going to be a mighty lap for Russell if he can get Yuki. And he's tearing up the tarmac. Come on, George, you can do this. Wish I had more battery. That's it. We'll have to settle for 10th, but it'll be a close run 10th. There we go. Max wins. Lewis gets... well, yeah, he's coming around now. There is Lewis.
Max Verstappen over the finish line and today's winner. And there's the checkered flag. Max Verstappen is our winner.
Without doubt, a stellar performance. Something that'll be seen as a real highlight this season.
And Russell runs
So
out of
we
fuel.
have taken the flag.
I forgot to
So that's,
worry about his
P2.
fuel. That's what's causing the yellow flag.
Great work, guys. Thank you so much for continuing to push.
We
Nice
take
work,
second.
Lewis.
Russell manages to get 10th. It's all
Checkered
square
flag is out.
at the top of the table between George and Lewis. Level points, but George still has first. He has 7 wins to Lewis's 3.
Wow, what a fantastic drive from Lewis Hamilton.
Definitely a well-deserved podium. You've got to say their race strategy was very good indeed.
Well, they've been waiting for this, haven't they? And it's only right that they make the most of it. The highly decorated record breaker from Stevenage once again taking to the podium.
That's an amazing number of podiums now this season. They just keep coming.
A sea of smiles all around. They're on top of the world here in Zandvoort. And as proceedings start to wind down here, what will Mercedes have made of this result, Karun?
They'll certainly be pleased to have made the podium. A job well done for sure.
And that then marks the end of events here at Zandvoort.
We now look ahead to the next round in Monza in Italy. The Temple of Speed is waiting and the teams will be ready and raring to go.
So, confirmation of the final result. Max takes his first win of the season, I think, against Lewis, who got second and the fastest lap. Fernando Alonso gets himself another podium in third. Ocon fourth, another strong race for Ocon in that Alpine. Ahead of Leclerc. The Ferraris just not got the pace that I thought they were going to have in this Grand Prix. I thought they'd be quicker than they were tonight. Perez gains 3 places to finish in 6th, Stroll stays 7th, Gasly drops a couple of places to finish in 8th, but it is still points. Yuki Tsunoda up 7 places to take 2 more points for Williams, and George up 3 from where he started, going the long way about it to finally claim another point. Let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship. There you see, George's 1 point keeps him top of the table on win countback. They are tied between him and Lewis. Lewis with 3 wins. That's podium number 12 in 14 Grand Prix. The only times he hasn't been on the podium this season, other races he hasn't finished. So that's a remarkable record for Lewis. Not so much for George, not quite as impressive. 10 podiums in total, and 1 DNF to his name, but he's had some very disappointing results recently. Max's win closes the gap a little bit to Lewis. It's under 100 points now, as you can see. I'm trying to do some quick mental maths in my head. 92, I think. 92 points, the gap. Leclerc in 4th place, only 10 points for him. That's disappointing for him. He's going to be dropping further away from Max again. Stroll getting some more points, who has won a race this year. Good old Lance Stroll getting a win back in Canada. His home Grand Prix. No, it wasn't Canada. It was Austria. Yeah, I think it was Austria. I can't remember. Perez with 8 points has tied Stroll. They are tied for 5th and 6th, but Stroll ahead because he has got a win. Esteban Ocon, 12 more points for him, keeping himself ahead of Alonso, but the gap has come down by 3 points. Carlos Sainz, no points for him today. He drops down to 9th in the standings. Gasly gets another 4 points. He's starting to close in on Sainz. Could Sainz's season go from bad to worse? He's got a win and a podium to his name, but he's just really been struggling this season. He's nowhere. Norris doesn't get any points, stays in 11th. Yuki Tsunoda goes to 12th and stays in 12th, but with 2 more points, gets further and further away from the cars below him. Magnussen, Piastri, Hulkenberg, Zhou, Albon. Albon, only 2 points for him this season. He's had a very disappointing year. Been thoroughly outperformed by Yuki. And then still just Bottas, Schumacher and Ricciardo yet to score. If we take a look at the Constructors' Championship, just 20 points for Mercedes. Red Bull with 33 points. Aston Martin take 3rd place from Ferrari. They were, starting to make some moves. Ferrari are really suffering because Sainz is struggling. Aston Martin have been a bit more consistent with their drivers. Both getting into the points on a more consistent basis, and that is, easy to see now. The fact that Ferrari are now 8 points behind them in the standings, and down to 4th. And Alpine have closed the gap ever so slightly. They gained 6 points on Ferrari, and if Ferrari's form continues like this, there's every possibility that Alpine could overhaul them. Are we seeing the actual decline of Ferrari here? Williams closed the gap up to Haas, but are losing the position on countback. Haas must have had a higher points or a higher positional finish than Williams this season. Alfa Romeo still on 4 points. AlphaTauri still the only team yet to get points. Let's have a look at the DHL pit stop challenge. George with the fastest stop ahead of Lewis. Then the 2 Ferraris, then the 2 Red Bulls, then the 2 McLarens, and then the 2 Alpines. 2 by 2, hands of blue. A little Firefly reference for you there. That's the standings in the championship. So we are 233 points clear of Red Bull. Not under any real threat from them. It's going to be tight between McLaren, Ferrari and Alpine. They seem to keep taking points off each other. I think Red Bull are pretty much guaranteed second at this point. And there you can see the pit stops there. We had a disastrous first stop for George. Had to change that front wing. Again, it's showing 7.5 when the stop took longer. Every time we get a wing change, it just seems to cap it at 7.5 for some reason, and I don't know why. Bit of a bug. And you can see George actually had the fastest 2 pit stops in this Grand Prix. Lewis's stop was only good enough for 3rd overall, which was that one. And then 4th for that stop there. And then 5th for George with that stop there. So some very quick stops, but again, another problem at a pit stop. This time it was a car jack delay. We haven't had one of those for a while. They've normally been sticky wheel nuts. Into the race. 9 successful overtakes for George, 15 failed. 5 successful defences, 6 failed. Did a good job considering, the damage to his car and how far back he fell. Fought back well to get a point. Lewis, 2 successful overtakes, no failed overtakes. That's interesting. 2 successful defences, 1 failed defence, and that was Carlos getting past him. I believe he was never really in the picture with with Max. Or did he actually get Max? I can't remember if he got Max at one point. Maybe that was the overtake he failed, or the defence he failed. We did get some experience for Teo as well. So hopefully he is going to be good for a race seat next season. You can see his rating is up to 80. That's good. And we achieved all of our sponsor goals this time. We didn't lose anything. We failed the finish position, but that was an incentive, not a guarantee. And our guarantees came through. So that is good to see. Alright then, so we've got 4 days until Monza. Let's survey the damage. So we destroyed a rear wing, a suspension and a front wing. Plus the front wing that we took off. So we've got no spare front wings. We're going to have to make more already. There is the result of the F2 race. Roman Staniek getting the win. Interesting. Fittipaldi on the podium. We've got some scouting back on Jack Doohan, who is Alpha's reserve. He's got 4 months left on his deal. Iwasa has 4 months left on his deal at Haas. Hager has 4 months left on his deal, which is at Williams. And Lawrence Jean, Freddie Vesti, has 4 months left on his deal with Trident. He's still in F2 at the moment. The other 3 have become reserve drivers. Right, let's see, can we actually replace all the parts that are missing? Can replace the rear wing, there we go, that's good. And we can just replace the suspension, but we're out of spares on that now. Let's have a look at car 2. Everything is kind of snuck through on that. The underfloor has just about managed to hang on, but that will need replacing at some point. We do have a spare though, that's good. Right, let's start looking at building some spare parts. Let me check actually, front wings. How many do I have? I think I've only got 2. Oh, I've got 1 spare front wing. Okay, that's good. Oh yeah, because we got 1 today, didn't we? The first day after the Grand Prix. So we need 2 more suspensions. Just checking, are we working on a suspension? We're working on a suspension project, so maybe just the 1. Let's see, 17 days plus about 15 days to build 2. Yeah, maybe 2's a safer option. So 99% on car 1, 70% on car 2, so it's going to take 22 days. But it's going to be a long time till the other ones are ready. So we may as well go ahead and get those in. We've just got to hope that we don't destroy one at Monza, because we won't have a spare until Singapore. Underfloors, we've got 1 spare, but we're about to lose it. So we should probably go ahead and make a spare underfloor. Just the 1, because we're going to work on a new project soon. Side pods are being manufactured at the moment, plus we have a spare, so that should be fine. Rear wings, we've only got 3 rear wings, because we've broken 1 already, so let's go ahead and make another rear wing. There we go. Front wings, we are currently making front wings. I don't know how many we're making. Do I want 1 more chassis? It's going to take 13 days. I am working on a new chassis project which will be ready in 10 days. So yeah, we'll hold off on the chassis for now unless they're really worn out. 87% and 86. They should be fine. We'll gamble on that. Alright, let's go to our front wings. We're making 6. We've got 2 more coming. Let's increase that to 3. Okay. Because we're not going to have another front wing added to the car this year. So we need to make sure we've got plenty of spares. And we are going through them very rapidly at the moment. We don't have space for another project just yet, but we have got new side pods, new chassis and new suspension on the way. I think the earliest we're going to get those is probably going to be LaSalle for most of those parts, I think, which will give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 races. If we can squeeze an underfloor in time for Austin, that would be nice. But if not, certainly for the weekend after, which is Mexico, and a new floor at Mexico would definitely be helpful. Again, we've got to be wary of funds though. Our cost cap is not limitless. We've got 10 mil in the bank. We're not doing any scouting at the moment. CFD simulator is going to break soon. Suspension simulator is not too far behind, but we're not going to be here next year. So maybe we just don't upgrade anything else and we just hang on to a positive bank balance so that we can afford to pay the fine we're going to incur if we break the cost cap, which we may well have to do to get new engines in both of our cars. We shall see. Let's advance time. And there we go. We have got an inbox event. Suspension deadline extension. It's going to extend it by 13 days unless we pay the overtime. We are paying the overtime. We can't take that hit. We need those parts because our pace is not what it was. As you have seen in the last couple of Grand Prix, we are not the quickest car by a long shot anymore. But there we go. That is it for tonight. Tomorrow, don't forget, we are doing the Singapore race replay. There is a vote on my community tab on my YouTube channel right now to determine which team we'll be using in that. I'll be checking that right before we go live and taking the result from around about 9 p.m. tomorrow night when we go live. And once we've done that, we will then be doing the Singapore Sting scenario, where we will be with Mercedes, and the objective will be to get second and third. So that is tomorrow night. We'll be back with Monza on Monday. So until then, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more F1 Manager very soon.